Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today I want to go over fruit fly traps. So this is a homemade design that I have. A lot of people have talked about these in the past in my comments. I do use these around the house. I find that I've tinkered with the design a little bit. I've really come up with one that I like as far as a homemade design. I think it works the best at trapping. I think it works the best at, just not only capturing them, but also lasting a while, which is an issue with some fruit fly traps. A lot of them dry out very quickly if you leave it open and things like that, or they can spill. So I've sort of found a design I like. And I want to show you how I make this design and what materials are used. So let's go and start taking a look at the materials. Alright, so let's start out with the basic things you need. A container. I know I've shown these in the past, but I really do like these Talente gelato containers. I like the size, it's a couple inches wide, nice plastic lid on top, good seal, and they can unseal them very easily. I just really like the way these containers work for a lot of different things. I use them quite frequently, and I get a lot of them because we like the Talente brand. They have other companies that make jars just like this. You can also find glass jars. This one happens to be 100% plastic, which I like because it doesn't break when you drop it. So, the first thing we're going to need to do, though, is we need to cut this lid out. So, the basic design for this one is, and I'm going to use my utility knife here, and just jab a hole right through here, and I'm just going to work my way around. Okay, so as you can see, this is now hollowed out. Still screws right on here, no problem. Just like that. So, the next piece of this, though, is getting the liquid in here. So what are we going to use to attract these fruit flies, you might ask? Well, for that, we're going to use this apple cider vinegar here. Now, as you can tell, this is a fairly deep container, and you do want to put in quite a bit because it is going to dissolve a little bit. Now, one thing actually, before I do this, just shake this up a little bit. And then we're going to pour this right in here. We're going to pour in, maybe 1.5 inches, about right there. So as you can see, there's some liquid in there. It's about 1.5 inches deep. Now, here's the key though that I found. A dash of Dawn soap. Now, this right here is just Dawn dish soap. I'm just going to let it drop in a drop. This happens to be the dropper that I use in my kitchen. There you go, just a drop. It's just enough to break the surface tension. Now, everything I've read says fruit flies do not like Dawn dish soap. So if you put too much in there, they might not come and get it. That's why you really only want to do a drop. Now, the last piece to this, as I said, this is a fairly simple trap, is this right here, this piece of saran wrap that goes over. All right? And actually, there's already a bug right here that's kind of flying towards this. So now, I'm going to cut off this piece of saran wrap. Alright, so now that the saran wrap is on top, we're going to screw this on just like this. We're just going to put it down just like this and screw this on. Nice and tight. There we go. And now, we need to add some holes to it. Okay? Now, a lot of people say to use toothpicks. I have found that toothpicks' holes are too small. They don't really do a good job. So what I do is I actually use a utility knife and I add these little slats into it all over. Just like that. That allows the bugs to get in. They go in here. They then cannot get out. And eventually, you have something that looks like this. Now, this is one of my older ones that I've had for a while. And I don't know if you can see in here through the reflection, we can see all those little black dots in there. Those are all dead fruit flies. So this is one of the ways that I've really done a good job of getting rid of all of these fruit flies in here is by this trap right here. Now this is in the area where my pumpkins were for my time lapse. So this was really heavily used by those fruit flies. They really took off in here, and I still mix it up every once in a while, just kind of mix it together like this. But what I have noticed is that when you have this plastic lid on, it delays the evaporation of it. Because what happens if you have a big tray, and I've done this before, which is only like, that deep, the liquid just runs out of it. It just slowly evaporates very quickly. The other thing I like about these, let me just move this together like this. You want to put this saran wrap just like I have on the sides here. You're going to wrap it around the sides. The other thing that I really, really like about this type of container is that I can put this in a bin. I can dig down, put a hole, put this in, and it's not going to flop over. I've actually had that happen before in my bins, and it really does ruin a lot of your bin when you have this apple cider vinegar everywhere in it because it soaks into all the bedding and then everything wants this material. So you're going to have tons of bugs in your basement. You're going to have tons of bugs everywhere. So it's really important to make sure you have this nice solid lid on here to keep everything in. So this can kind of splash around a little bit. It doesn't come out. It's not a big deal. And then it can go in, be sunk into my bedding by, 4 inches, be sticking out the top, let the bugs get right in over the top, go in, and drown and die. I do put these, as I said, in my bins. This one actually was in my vermi bag, actually. Now, I want to mention that. This was in my vermi bag also for a while to try to lure those, the fruit flies out of there. And as long as it's below the mesh, so the mesh isn't sitting on top of it or the top, they will get in here and they'll die. And this is a really good trap. I've had a really good success with it. I know a lot of other people have mentioned these traps, and I do recommend them, especially for a version that you can build yourself. So if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of this design for a fruit fly trap yourself. And thank you for watching.